Hi, I'm Tonia Carrier, Artistic Educator with Pravana Naturceuticals, and this is my model Lisa. Thanks for joining us. Today I'm going to be showing you how to break down this really cool fringy-ended layered haircut into nice large sections in simple steps. We're of course going to want to start off with a consultation with our client. You're going to want to determine the things like we usually do with the length of her haircut, where she wears her part, that kind of thing. But with this particular haircut, you also want to have a consultation with your client about just how piecey and fringy she would like the ends, because that part can actually be made a little bit versatile with this cut. So how do we do the cut? Well, we started off on wet hair, and Lisa actually only wanted about 1 inch off of the length of her hair. So we went ahead and did that first, and then she pretty much always wears her hair parted here, so that's what we did. And now we go on to sectioning. So again, we did this part on wet hair. To section, we section the front from the back in a usual hair layering T part, really easy, just behind the ears. Like so. Now for this large back section, I talked about large sections, and this is what it's going to be. We're going to cut this first section here about at the occipital bone. Now where you cut it happens to be where some of the versatility kicks in. If you have a client that maybe doesn't want that much pieciness at the end, go ahead and section up higher. And if you like a client that really wants to commit to this look and have a real piecey look at the end, section it a little bit lower. So for Lisa, we're going to go right at our occipital bone. And the goal here is that these back layers are all going to be over directed to the very center back and be cut parallel to the back of the head. Like so. Straight out from the back of the head, parallel to the head. Her head's nice and straight. And believe it or not, I cut this straight out in one section, like so. Cut it and then drop it. Now when you cut it, you're going to see lots of lines, of course, and it's going to be weighty. But I did this on wet hair, and we're going to go ahead and texturize. And of course the texturizing is going to be where all these lines in it disappear and give us the nice fringy, versatile look that we were talking about. So with what I was saying a minute ago, I took all of this in one section at the occipital bone and cut it all in one large, easy section. If you don't feel comfortable with a section this large, go ahead, take about 2-inch section in the back, cut that in a blunt way, and then take smaller sections. Just make sure you're over directing this entire thing to come to the center back of the hair. Believe it or not, that was the only thing that we did when the hair was wet and before styling. We do all of this texturizing and pieciness after it's been dried, and if you need to flat iron or round brush the style to have it laying in a nice way. And all of this pieciness came from that. So we're going to move to the front of the haircut now. Now to do the front of the hair, we simply remove the clips. Determined where Lisa wants the fringe. She kept it nice and long here, and simply trimmed over here. We had already established the length here, established the length in her fringe, and simply blended the two in together. Again, we're not worrying about texturizing at this point. We're simply blending in the guides and putting that initial cut in. Now it's time to blend the back and the front together. So we've already cut the back of the hair with the wet cut. We've already cut the front and blended it in, and now it's time to blend the two haircuts together, the back to the front. You're going to want to take, where Lisa wears her part, you're going to want to take 1 inch on each side, so a nice big section again, and then you want to make sure you pick up some of the part in the back here that's already been cut as a guide. Take that nice 2-inch long, 2-inch wide section. Bring it out from where it lives, which is, in this case, because she wears a side part, you want to have it at a slight angle. And then this is going to be cut at a 45-degree angle, again, using our back section that we've already cut as a guide. And we want to cut this at 45 degrees, drop it, find our part again, and then move to the front layering. Now we've got lots of guides all over the place, so it's really, really easy, and it's actually just a little bit of hair that comes off at this point. Take a big section here, making sure that we're picking up guides from the back. And what it's going to look like is sort of a slithering technique. The cameraman loves it when I say slithering technique. He thinks it's cool. And you want to kind of do this out here like that. Nice big sections. I promised you simple, big, large sections. And slither that out like so. So that was it. That was the wet haircut, large simple sections, and now it's time to blow dry. We added some Pravana Naturceuticals Relax Styling Cream to Lisa's hair, and then blow dried her hair with a nice big round brush, smoothing it out. Now it's time to texturize. So as you can tell by these piecey layers, texturizing is a really, really important part of this haircut. I really like it too. I think it's kind of fun, very modern looking, and it's also something that is really artistic to be able to do. So what we did after we blow dried her hair, of course we had that blunt cut that we just pulled that out, dropped it, so it was needed a lot of texturizing. Lisa's hair is nice and heavy, so she can handle it. And what I did first, from the occipital bone down, that was rather heavy. So I'd like to go in and just kind of hold this out. It looks something like this, little pieciness, and removed some of the hair, keeping the length, and just basically went through the whole outer perimeter of the hair until I was happy with the way it looked and the pieciness that I was getting. Then I went through the haircut just the way we did it, and I used my small texture shears here. These are my favorite texture shears because they just take out little bitty bites, so I really feel like I have a lot of control with them. So I went through the haircut in the same way that we went through the original haircut when it was wet, meaning this whole section here from the occipital bone up. Now for texturizing, I didn't take it all in one section, but I started here in the center, held it straight out from her hair, from where it lives here, and about 2.5 inches in, I started using the texture shears at different stages of the haircut like this, until I got a paintbrush effect like this. What that did, of course, is eradicate the lines that we've created just by cutting it out bluntly, but what I like is that it kept the shape of the head here, kept some weight up here, and had it go in, and I like the shape of it. So to texturize the front and top of the hair, it's really simple. You just go through the same method that we did the original wet haircut. Take nice sections here and kind of do it by feel. Lisa has a good amount of hair, but you're going to need to texturize considerably less here in the front than you do in the back because of the amount of hair. Once you do the front, you're kind of happy with that. You want to go into the top and the same section that we did before. 1 inch on each side of the part. Hold it up at a 45-degree angle again. And then I chose about 2.5 to 2.25 inches to start using the texture shears at different stages of the hair to get this nice paintbrush effect that's going to eradicate any lines in the haircut and give it a really soft look. Find the part again. And then everything else, really, once you're happy with the way it's laying and you don't see any lines anymore and you have a piecey effect that you'd like, you're done. So there you have it, a breakdown, hopefully simple one, of an easy to do modern layered haircut that you can customize for your clients. So thanks for joining us today.